And an afternoon would not be complete here at Conference Live without our old friends Yardi. I've had the opportunity to talk to Rob Teel for many years, and he has always been a trendsetter and a trend noticer, and it is good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Jerry. How are you?
I'm great. How are you enjoying the show this year?
Getting tired of all these interviews? You got a little energy left?
No, I think we are learning some pretty exciting things here. I'll tell you some of the trends we've been seeing. A trend to a much more high touch, much more customer consumed, being consumed with customer experience. Yeah. A great deal of people talking about how openness and allowing your customer to customize the product for them. What are the trends you're seeing out there this year?
Well, maybe just take a step back and I'll tell you what we've been working on.
Sure.
And kind of the pillars of Yardi and play into how we address the themes that we've heard so much about here at Realcomm. And I guess we're in the 5th generation here, as Jim calls it, in real estate tech, and artificial intelligence and some of those other areas are really starting to play into our stack. When I look at Yardi now, it's a little different than the last couple of years that we've met. We used to just be an ERP player, meaning primarily focused on accounting systems and back office systems, and we still spend a lot of our time on that stack. We call that Voyager as our heart of our ERP, and we still continue to work away at that and push the edge of the envelope with our ERP platform. But we've added 2 other pillars to the company. One is energy, and the other is data. If I could just take a second to describe kind of what we're working on in each of those areas, and I'll kind of tell you how we're baking that into the trends that we're seeing. First of all, with ERP, our goal is, we try to accommodate the CFO and the accounting organization as they track each transaction that comes into the general ledger, let's say. But not many transactions start in the accounting department. Most transactions start out in the field. Maybe a work order gets entered by a tenant, or a purchase order or a purchase request gets entered by an employee. Those are typically done on mobile apps. They're far removed from the accountants that are typing in the transactions. And what we want to do with the ERP platform is push as far as we can upstream to the source of each of those transactions. And so I think the tenant work order is a great example. We just launched a tenant app that any of our clients can deploy to their tenants. It's either Android or iOS. They download it and they have instant interaction with the ERP system. Enter a work order, see the status, get notified when somebody's coming out to fix the problem. And so that ERP stack we want to continue to push out to the source of each transaction that comes into the GL. With energy, we spent a lot of time and actually acquired several companies to do one thing. We've got 5,000 clients that use our Voyager system, that back office ERP system, and Anit Yardi, who runs Yardi Systems and has for 30 years, feels like anything we can do to help our clients save money on energy is good for them.
Right. It's
good for us. Hopefully we participate in some of the savings they're generating. And it's also kind of a feel-good environmental thing too, right? Saving energy. Sure. And so our energy play is how can we help our clients, institutional real estate owners, save money on energy, whether it's the HVAC and the optimization of that HVAC system, whether it's helping them analyze their usage at a sub-meter level and optimize where the energy leakage is. Those are areas that we've expanded into, and we've acquired 4 companies in the last 2 years to help us do that. And then finally, data is a big play, and I think that starts to really anchor on some of the themes of Realcomm this year in artificial intelligence. Most of our focus on data has been building what we call Matrix, and Matrix is a repository of data on every major commercial building over 30,000 square feet in the US, every major residential building over 50 units. And we've been collecting this data for many years. We've got 500 people on our research team that are taking pictures of each of these buildings, characteristics, leasing trends, what's the rental rate for each of these spaces that we can publicly gather, right, from public information. It's been a passive environment, though. You go out and you use the system, you research on the system and look at data, but our focus for the future, and kind of to answer your question in an incredibly long-winded way, is like, how does this factor into some of the trends at Realcomm? We hear artificial intelligence and guided analytics. That data, that big set of data we've got about all these properties, all these leases, all these rental rates, they should be helping our clients make decisions on if I'm pricing a space. I enter $24 a square foot. Should it be a little higher or a little lower? Why can't we provide that advice? for the budgeting cycle, I've got to forecast what my rents are going to do for the next 2 years. Why can't we provide some guidance on where things are heading in a particular market for a particular type of property? And so that's where a lot of our energy is going right now, is to leverage that data, which we haven't done a lot of, but we think there's a lot of opportunity there. So.
And would that be in a consultancy way, or would those sort of quasi-valuations happen in an app already? How would you do that?
It's a good question. I mean, we have a lot of people, and we do provide some consulting services, but our focus is really on software and platform, and so we want to integrate that data with their normal work process, right? If they're part of the budgeting process at quarter end and they're trying to figure out, what should I tell Wall Street my revenues are going to be next year? I want to help them, not through a consulting process, but just through a flash on their dashboard or a flash on their screen that says, hey, you've marked this too low. You need to be trending your revenue higher for the next year. They're better prepared for, if they're a REIT, their calls with the analyst at the end of the quarter. If they're reporting to external investors, they can provide better guidance how their investment's doing. But it's really injecting, into their daily cycle some intelligence, right? Not just a data capture system, which is, that's what accounting systems really are. We're a glove and we're catching all these transactions, but how can we kind of flip that around and really lead them? We've got a lot of users, we've got a lot of clients. How can we make them smarter is a big part of what we're chasing.
One of the things that seems to be reoccurring in each of these is sort of if this is where the transaction begins, let's have this entrance of data happen at the very first contact with the data, wherever that may be. Yeah. Similarly, you're saving steps. Similarly, you're saving steps in that third, talking about sort of using the data to make an estimation. Yeah. So do you think that that's a company-wide philosophy, that sort of saving, that time saving or that energy saving?
For sure, yeah. For sure. I mean, think about, here's another process. As an accountant and as a CFO, you need to make sure you're doing business with vendors that are the appropriate vendors to do business with. And so vendor validation, vendor onboarding is time-consuming within an organization. You've got to vet them, you've got to match them against a terrorist watch list, you've got to make sure that you're not doing business with the wrong type of person. We've deployed Vendor Cafe to allow vendors to register themselves, to enter the details themselves, to walk the CFO and his team or her team through the workflow of vetting a vendor, background checks, whatever's required, and just automating something that was really manual in most organizations. And so that's just an example of reaching out as far as you can beyond the four walls of your company, right, and to your external partners, and it's a real-time access that they have to your ERP in a secure way, and in a mobile way, and in a way that's very, doesn't require any training. It's just you go online and do it just like you'd book an airline ticket.
It sounds as though one of the trends that we're seeing here that we began to speak about at the beginning of the conversation at the show, that sort of encompassing care for making life easy for the client or the customer, seems to be very much in line with what you're talking about. Beyond that, are there any other trends that you're seeing this year that are very much on the same page as what Yardi is doing?
Yeah, well, I think I haven't really touched on that theme, but customer care and customer coming first, that's a big part of our ethos at Yardi, and all of our development ideas. We're not just sitting in Santa Barbara on the beach with a Mai Tai dreaming up new ideas for the marketplace. Our customers are telling us what to do. Yeah. And so that theme in particular has resonated at Yardi for, since the early 80s when On It started. And he feels incredibly passionate about our customers. And our motto is take care of our clients, take care of our employees, and grow. And if we take care of our clients, we can take care of our employees financially and also within the organization. And if we all do that, then we're going to grow as a company. And that's been a big, I think, the secret to his success on at Yardi and the company as a whole, those three things. So,
what can we look forward to from Voyager and from Yardi in the next, say, 36 months?
Well, I think you'll see a continued push on the energy side. We've really just started there. We've acquired 4 companies. We're just figuring out what they mean together. Right. We know what they mean individually, but how can we take that to our clients as a holistic offering to help them reduce their energy usage and energy spend? We already can help them, but I think there's kind of a holistic approach that we could take there. And then on the data side, I'm really excited to see what we can do. I think that we're seeing ways now that we can leverage this, this big pot of gold that we're sitting on. It took a long time to gather, through public records, through our interfaces with individual counties and tax records and relationships that we have out there to build this big pool of data, and it hasn't been leveraged completely by our client base or by us, and so we're excited to see where that can go.
I think we're all excited to see what Yardi will do with that, and thank you for being a partner with us at Realcomm, and we look forward to seeing you next year, 2018.
Thanks for having me, Jerry.
Thank you, Rob.
Take care.
Rob Teel, Yardi, SVP of Global Solutions. Well,